How to hack your brain to enjoy change. What if you could flip a switch in your brain that turned the dread of change into the exhilarating rush of a roller coaster? That knot in your stomach when you're facing the unknown. That's not just fear, it's your brain's ancient built-in threat detector going off. But here's the secret. You can learn to manage that system and turn all that stressful uncertainty into pure excitement. The problem: why your brain fights change. Ever wonder why even good change, like a promotion or a new relationship, can feel so terrifying? It's not a personal flaw. It's just your brain doing the job it was designed for, keeping you alive. See, your brain is a prediction machine. For thousands of years, its main gig was to guess what would happen next to avoid getting eaten. Is that a predator in the bushes, or just the wind? Is this new place safe, or full of things that want to kill me? To survive, your brain came up with a simple rule. Familiar equals safe, and unfamiliar equals a potential threat. And change? It's the ultimate unfamiliar. It breaks the pattern, introduces uncertainty, and your brain absolutely hates uncertainty. When things get unpredictable, a tiny almond-shaped part of your brain called the amygdala hits the panic button. Think of it as your brain's slightly dramatic bodyguard, or a car alarm that goes off if a leaf falls on the windshield. It can't tell the difference between the threat of a saber-toothed tiger and the stress of starting a new job. To your amygdala, unknown is danger. This alarm triggers a flood of stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart pounds, your muscles get tight, and your focus narrows to whatever it thinks the danger is. It's the classic fight or flight response. A brilliant system for escaping a lion, but a terrible one for making a clear-headed decision about a career move. Even worse, those stress hormones steal energy from your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain in charge of rational thought and planning. So, right when you need to be smart and logical, your survival instincts are basically shutting down the command center. You're left feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and completely stuck. It's a neurological response, not a lack of willpower. But here's the crucial part. The same biological machinery that produces paralyzing fear can also produce exhilarating excitement. The physical feelings are almost identical. A racing heart, a surge of energy, a feeling of being intensely aware. The only difference is how your brain interprets that feeling, and that's something you can control. Your brain can actually change its own wiring. It's called neuroplasticity. By understanding this, you can rewire your response to uncertainty and teach your brain that new can be exciting. So, how do we hijack this ancient system? Here are 3 powerful brain hacks to turn the terror of change into a thrill. The solution: here's how to hack it. Hack number 1. The Thrill-Ride Reframe. The first hack is a simple but wild cognitive trick. You're going to relabel your anxiety as excitement. It sounds way too simple, but it's backed by fascinating research from Harvard professor Alison Wood Brooks. Her studies found that people who were told to say "I am excited" out loud before a stressful task, like public speaking, actually performed better than people who tried to calm themselves down. Why does this work? Because anxiety and excitement are basically arousal twins. They both involve that high-energy butterflies in your stomach feeling. Trying to go from anxious to calm is a huge leap from high energy to low energy, and it rarely works. But shifting your mindset from anxious to excited is much easier. Your body is already there. You're not trying to stop the wave of energy, you're just learning how to surf it. Here's how you do it. The next time you feel those physical symptoms of anxiety before a big change, a job interview, a first date, don't fight it. Acknowledge the feeling. Notice your heart is pounding. Then say it out loud. This isn't anxiety. This is my body getting excited for a challenge. Or just, I am excited. By doing this, you're consciously telling your brain that these signals mean opportunity, not a threat. You're reframing the energy as something that will help you perform, not paralyze you. It's the difference between standing at the top of a roller coaster, frozen in fear, and throwing your hands in the air and screaming with joy. The track is exactly the same. Your experience is all about your interpretation. Hack number 2, the fear-setting blueprint. Often, our fear of change is just a vague, shadowy monster. We're afraid of what-ifs that we never actually look at in the light. This next hack, made famous by author Tim Ferriss, is a structured exercise to drag those fears out of the darkness. It's called fear setting, and it's a powerful antidote to feeling paralyzed. It works because we tend to blow the negative consequences of action way out of proportion, while totally ignoring the cost of doing nothing. Fear setting forces you to be rational. Grab a pen and paper. You're going to make 3 lists. First, define. On page 1, make 3 columns: define, prevent, and repair. In the define column, list every single fear you have about the change. What's the absolute worst that could happen? Be brutally specific. Don't just write, "I'll fail." Write, "I'll start a business, burn through my savings in 6 months, and have to ask my friends for money." Get 10 to 20 of these nightmare scenarios down. Next, in the prevent column, brainstorm what you could do to make each fear less likely. Afraid of running out of money? A prevention step could be save 8 months of living expenses first, or start the business on the side while I still have my job. Then, in the repair column, imagine the worst has happened. What would you do to get back on track? Who could you ask for help? You'll often find that even the worst-case scenario is survivable. Second, benefits. On a new page, write down all the potential benefits of taking action, even if it's only a partial success. What would life look like if this went great? How would you grow? What skills would you learn? This forces you to see the potential upside you've been ignoring. Third, and this is the most important part, the cost of inaction. On the last page, ask yourself, if I do nothing, what will my life look like in 6 months, in 1 year, in 3 years? Be honest. What is the financial, emotional, and physical cost of staying exactly where you are? Often the slow, quiet decay of staying put is far scarier than the risk of taking a leap. By the end, your fears are no longer monsters. They are defined, manageable problems. And the cost of standing still becomes crystal clear, giving you the push you need. Hack number 3, the growth mindset trigger. The final hack is about shifting your entire belief system about challenges. This idea comes from Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck and is called the growth mindset. It's the core belief that your abilities aren't fixed, but can be developed through dedication and hard work. Someone with a fixed mindset sees a challenge and thinks, "I can't do this. I'm not smart enough." Failure is a final verdict. But someone with a growth mindset sees the same challenge and thinks, "I can't do this not yet, but I can learn." Failure is just data for the next attempt. When facing change, a fixed mindset is a recipe for fear, but a growth mindset turns every unknown into a chance to level up. How do you trigger this shift? It starts with one incredibly simple word, yet. Here's your mission. The next time you catch yourself saying something with a fixed mindset, like, "I'm terrible at public speaking," or "I don't know how to run a business," just stick the word "yet" on the end. I'm terrible at public speaking, yet. I don't know how to run a business, yet. This tiny word is transformative. It reframes the statement from a permanent reality into a temporary spot on a much longer journey. It acknowledges where you are now, without accepting it as your final destination. It implies that growth is inevitable. To push it further, after you add "yet," identify one tiny, manageable step to start learning. Not a great public speaker yet? Watch one TED Talk on storytelling. Don't know how to run a business yet? Read one article on creating a business plan. The goal isn't mastery overnight. It's to prove to your brain that you can take action and improve. Embracing change isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. Armed with the knowledge that fear is just energy, the worst case is survivable, and every single challenge is a chance to become more than you were before. Conclusion and CTA. So, the next time you feel that knot in your stomach, remember what it really is. It's your body getting ready for something new. It's not a stop sign, it's the starting gun. You have the power to hack this system. First, reframe anxiety as excitement by telling yourself, "I am excited." Let that energy work for you. Second, use fear setting to define your fears and, more importantly, clarify the high cost of standing still. And third, use the power of "yet" to shift into a growth mindset, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone. Change is constant, but your fear doesn't have to be. You are wired to rewire. The thing you're most scared of might just be your greatest opportunity. What's a change you've been afraid of making? Share it in the comments below and tell us which one of these hacks you're going to try first. And if you found this helpful, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more insights on mastering your own mind.